Listen to me. You've been spending too much time worrying about who sees you, who acknowledges you, who claps for you. But let me tell you something. Your value is not defined by their recognition. Your worth is not measured by who validates you, who calls your name, or who gives you a seat at their table. You need to understand that whether they notice you or not, whether they accept you or not, you are still who you are. See, a diamond doesn't lose its value because somebody walks past it. A crown doesn't stop being a crown just because someone refuses to wear it. Some of you are waiting for people to validate you before you step into your purpose. You're waiting for them to tell you that you're good enough, that you're worthy, that you deserve the opportunity. But what if they never do? What if they never see you the way you want them to? What if the applause never comes? Are you going to sit there and let your potential waste away? Are you going to shrink yourself just because they don't acknowledge what you carry? I need you to wake up. You are not defined by their opinion. You are not defined by their approval. Some of the most valuable things in this world are hidden. Gold is buried deep in the earth before it's discovered. Pearls are locked inside oysters before they're found. But you know what? Whether found or not, they are still gold. They are still pearls. And you, my friend, are still great, even if no one recognizes it yet. I see too many people chasing after acceptance, begging for a spot, trying to prove themselves to people who don't even deserve access to them. You don't have to force yourself into rooms where people won't appreciate you. You don't have to lower your standards just to fit in. Because the truth is, if you have to force yourself into their circle, you're already in the wrong place. If they can't see your value, that's their loss, not yours. Stop running after people who ignore you. Stop exhausting yourself trying to make them like you, trying to make them understand you, trying to make them choose you. You were never meant to beg for what's already yours. You were never meant to convince people of your worth. The right people, the right opportunities, the right connections will come when you start walking like you know who you are. Let me tell you something real. The greatest people in history were rejected before they were accepted. They were ignored before they were celebrated. They were overlooked before they were honored. But do you know what they didn't do? They didn't let that stop them. They didn't quit because someone else couldn't see their value. They kept moving. They kept grinding. They kept building. And eventually, the world had no choice but to take notice. So what about you? Are you going to give up just because they don't recognize you today? Are you going to lower your standards just so you can fit in? Or are you going to keep walking in your greatness, keep sharpening your skills, keep becoming the best version of yourself? You don't need their permission to be great. You don't need their approval to chase your dream. You don't need their validation to step into your purpose. You were created with value. You were born with worth, and whether they acknowledge it or not, you are enough. Some of you are frustrated right now because people you thought would be with you for life walked away. You thought they were your ride or die. You thought they would support you no matter what, but now they're gone, and you're sitting here asking yourself, what did I do wrong? Why did they leave? Why don't they care the way I care? Let me free you today. Not everyone is meant to walk with you. Not everyone is supposed to go where you're going. Some people are only meant to be in your life for a season, and you're trying to drag them into your future when their time in your life is up. Listen to me. Some of the pain you're feeling, some of the frustration you're dealing with, it's not because you're not capable. It's not because you're not worthy. It's because you're trying to hold on to people who were never meant to stay. You're trying to force connections that expired a long time ago. And the longer you hold on, the more drained you're going to feel. The more you try to convince them to see your vision, to believe in you, to support you, the more you're delaying your own progress. Stop chasing people who have already made up their mind to leave. Stop running after people who showed you with their actions that they're not meant to walk this journey with you. When people walk away, let them go. When doors close, stop banging on them. When friendships fade, stop trying to force them back to life. Because the truth is, if they were meant to be there, they wouldn't have left. If they were supposed to be part of your journey, They wouldn't have disappeared when things got tough. I need you to understand that some people were only meant to play a role in your past. They were there to teach you something. They were there to show you something about yourself. But that doesn't mean they're supposed to be part of your future. Holding on to the wrong people is like trying to carry dead weight while running a marathon. You're slowing yourself down. You're making the journey harder than it needs to be. You ever wonder why some people change up on you the moment you start growing, the moment you start moving differently? It's because not everyone can handle your elevation. Some people were fine with you when you were on their level, but the moment you started rising, they got uncomfortable. The moment you started demanding more from life, they started pulling away. And you're out here trying to convince them to stay when they've already made it clear. They're not built for where you're going. You have to get to a place where you stop forcing connections, where you stop begging for loyalty, where you stop trying to make people care about you the way you care about them. Because the right people, you won't have to chase them. The right people, they'll be there no matter what. The right people, they'll grow with you, they'll challenge you, they'll push you forward instead of holding you back. So stop crying over people who left. Stop mourning relationships that ended. Start focusing on where you headed, not who walked away. Because the more you elevate, the more you grow, the more you step into your purpose, the more you're going to realize that not everyone was meant to come with you, and that's okay. Let them go. Keep moving forward. Let me tell you something. Rejection hurts. I get it. It stings when people turn their backs on you, when opportunities slip through your fingers, when the doors you were so sure would open end up shutting in your face. You start questioning yourself. You start wondering, what did I do wrong? Why am I not good enough? Why do they keep choosing someone else instead of me? But hear me, loud and clear, rejection is often redirection. You think that job you didn't get was a setback, but what if it was actually protection? What if that relationship that fell apart was never meant to last in the first place? What if that person who walked away wasn't supposed to be part of your destiny? Some of you are crying over doors that were never meant to open for you. You're begging for people to accept you when their rejection is actually the best thing that could have happened. See, sometimes you get so caught up in what you want that you don't see what's really happening. You're asking for something small when life is trying to push you towards something greater. You're holding on to something temporary when something permanent is waiting for you. And instead of seeing rejection as failure, you need to start seeing it as direction. Think about it. Have you ever looked back at a moment in your life when you thought everything was falling apart, only to realize later that it was actually falling into place? You were devastated when you didn't get that job, but then a better opportunity came. You were heartbroken when that person left. But then you met someone who actually valued you. The thing you thought was working against you was actually setting you up for something bigger. But at the time, you couldn't see it. And that's the problem. Too many people get stuck in the pain of rejection instead of pushing through to the lesson on the other side. You sit there dwelling on why they didn't pick you, why they didn't believe in you, why they walked away. But the truth is, their rejection has nothing to do with your worth. Just because they didn't see your value doesn't mean you don't have it. Just because they said no doesn't mean you weren't capable. Just because they left doesn't mean you're not enough. You got to stop letting rejection make you doubt yourself. Stop letting closed doors make you question your potential. Some of the greatest people in history faced rejection over and over again before they ever saw success. The difference between them and everyone else, they didn't let it stop them. They didn't let a no break them. They didn't let failure define them. They used every rejection as fuel to keep going. So what about you? Are you going to sit there feeling sorry for yourself, or are you going to get up and keep moving? Are you going to let someone else's decision define your future, or are you going to trust that there's something greater ahead? You've got to shift your mindset. Instead of seeing rejection as an obstacle, see it as an arrow pointing you in the right direction. Instead of seeing it as a loss, see it as a lesson. Instead of letting it break you, let it build you. Because I promise you, one day you're going to look back and realize that the very thing you thought was holding you back was actually pushing you forward. Keep moving, keep believing, and when rejection comes, Don't take it as the end. Take it as a sign something better is waiting. Stop begging for people to see your worth. Stop chasing after people who don't value you the way you value them. Stop pouring your time, energy, and love into people who don't reciprocate. Too many of you are out here giving your all to people who wouldn't even give you the bare minimum. And the worst part, you know it. You feel it. You see the signs, but you keep convincing yourself that if you try a little harder, if you give a little more, if you prove yourself just one more time, maybe, just maybe, they'll finally appreciate you. But let me tell you something. Self-respect is worth more than desperation. You are not built to beg for attention. You are not designed to plead for love. You are not created to convince people to see your value. When you chase after people who don't choose you, you lower your own value. When you force yourself into spaces where you are not appreciated, you shrink yourself. When you keep giving to people who take you for granted, you drain yourself. And at some point, you have to wake up and realize that your worth does not decrease just because someone else refuses to recognize it. Some of you are bending over backward trying to make people stay who don't even want to be there. You're compromising your standards, ignoring your intuition, tolerating disrespect, all because you're afraid to lose them. But what you don't realize is this: you already lost them. The moment you had to start forcing the connection, the moment you had to start proving your worth, the moment you had to start begging for effort, they were already gone. The right people won't have to be convinced to stay. The right people won't make you feel like you have to earn their love. The right people won't make you question whether you matter. Love, real friendships, real loyalty flows naturally. It's not forced. It's not manipulated. It's not one-sided. And if you have to constantly fight just to be seen, just to be valued, just to be considered, then you're in the wrong place with the wrong people. I need you to start choosing yourself the way you keep choosing them. I need you to start loving yourself the way you keep loving them. I need you to start pouring into yourself the way you keep pouring into others. Because the more you give to the wrong people, the less you have left for yourself. And the people who actually deserve you, they're out there, but they can't find you because you're too busy chasing people who don't even care. Stop waiting for people to change. Stop hoping that one day they'll wake up and realize your worth. Some people will never see it, not because you're not valuable, because they're not meant to. And that's okay. Let them go. Walk away with your dignity intact. Stand tall, knowing that you are enough. And when you stop forcing connections, when you stop begging for love, when you finally choose yourself, the right people, the ones who see you, who value you, who appreciate you, will show up. And you won't have to chase them because they'll be running towards you too. You're exhausted. You're drained. You're tired of trying, tired of explaining, tired of giving more than you get. And do you know why? Because you keep forcing relationships, forcing friendships, forcing connections that were never meant to be. You're doing all the work. You're carrying the weight of something that's supposed to be mutual. You hold on when you should have let go a long time ago. But let me tell you something. What's real doesn't have to be forced. What's meant to be will flow naturally. You can't make people value you. You can't make people love you the way you love them. You can't keep bending, adjusting, shrinking just to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. Some of you are trying to mold yourself into something you're not just so people will accept you, just so they'll keep you around. You're afraid that if you stop trying, they'll leave. But hear me, you should never have to beg to be in someone's life. You should never have to work overtime just to prove you deserve a seat at the table, because the right people, they won't need convincing. The right people will choose you without hesitation. You ever notice how hard it is to force a connection that isn't meant to be? How exhausting it is to keep fighting for someone's time, someone's effort, someone's love? That's not love. That's not friendship. That's not respect. That's survival mode. That's you holding on to something that should have been let go. That's you believing that if you just do more, they'll finally see your worth. But let me ask you, if they don't see it by now, will they ever? You deserve people who show up, people who match your energy, people who pour into you the way you pour into them. And let me be real, sometimes we get so caught up in wanting certain people in our lives that we ignore the fact that they're not giving us what we need. We settle for pieces of love when we deserve the whole thing. We tolerate inconsistency when we deserve commitment. We justify their actions, make excuses for their behavior, and tell ourselves, well, at least they're still here. But is that enough? Is at least they're still here really the standard you want for your life? Love, real friendship, real connection. Doesn't feel like an uphill battle. Doesn't feel like a constant fight for attention. It doesn't feel like you have to keep proving why you deserve to be chosen. And the truth is, the moment you have to force something, it's no longer worth having. The moment you have to beg for effort, the connection is already broken. The moment you have to explain why you deserve to be treated right, you're already dealing with the wrong person. Stop settling for resistance when you were made for alignment. Stop running after people who wouldn't take 2 steps for you. Stop begging for a place in someone's life when the right people would never make you question where you stand. Because when it's right, it won't be a battle. When it's right, you won't feel like you're the only one trying. When it's right, they'll meet you halfway. And if they're not meeting you halfway, if you're the only one carrying the weight, if you're the only one fighting to keep it together, then maybe it's time to let go. You are worthy of connections that don't require you to lose yourself just to keep them. You are worthy of people who stay because they want to, not because you beg them to. And the moment you stop forcing what isn't meant for you, the right things will find you. And when they do, you'll realize that love, respect, and effort were never supposed to be that hard. You keep lowering your standards, thinking if you just compromise a little more, maybe they'll stay. You keep accepting less than you deserve, hoping that if you're patient enough, they'll finally give you what you need. You keep making excuses, justifying the bare minimum, telling yourself, well, at least they're here. But let me ask you, what good is someone being in your life if they don't show up for you the way you show up for them? What good is their presence if they don't bring value, if they don't pour into you, if they don't make you feel seen, heard, and appreciated? Some of you are holding on to people who don't respect you. You're holding on to people who only come around when it's convenient for them, who only show up when they need something, who only check in when they have time to spare. And instead of walking away, you keep waiting for them to change, waiting for them to realize your worth, waiting for them to finally treat you the way you deserve to be treated. But hear me, you can't make people value you. You can't force people to love you the right way. You can't keep giving chances to people who have already shown you that they're not willing to meet you where you are. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow, and some of you have been allowing too much for too long. You've been accepting half-hearted effort, inconsistency, and disrespect because deep down, you're afraid of being alone. Afraid that if you walk away, you'll never find better. Afraid that if you set boundaries, you'll push people away. But let me tell you something. If someone leaves because you demanded respect, they were never supposed to be there in the first place. If someone gets upset because you set boundaries, that's proof they were benefiting from you having none. You got to stop fearing loss and start valuing yourself. Because the truth is, you're not losing when you let go of people who don't treat you right. You're gaining. You're gaining self-respect. You're gaining peace. You're gaining room for the right people to enter your life. But that can't happen if you keep holding on to what's breaking you. It can't happen if you keep settling for relationships that drain you more than they fill you. Some of you have spent so much time trying to prove your worth to the wrong people that you've forgotten your worth was never something you had to prove in the first place. You don't need to convince people to appreciate you. You don't need to beg people to see your value. The right people, they'll see it. They'll respect it. They'll show up. And you won't have to keep explaining why you deserve love, effort, and consistency because they'll already know. So stop accepting less just because you're afraid of losing people. Stop settling for half love when you deserve the whole thing. Stop giving people unlimited chances when they've already shown you who they are. Because the moment you choose yourself, the moment you decide that your worth is non-negotiable, everything in your life will start to change. And the right people, They don't need to be forced because they'll be there by choice. You have to stop chasing people who don't value you. You have to stop knocking on doors that were never meant to open for you. You have to stop trying to prove your worth to people who don't even care to see it. Too many of you are out here wasting time, energy, and effort on people who have already made it clear they don't see you the way you see them. You are holding on to relationships that are one-sided, friendships that drain you, and connections that don't pour back into you. And the craziest part, you already know it. You feel it. You see the signs, but you're still fighting for people who wouldn't fight for you. At some point, you have to wake up and realize that you cannot force people to be in your life. You can't make someone value you. You can't make someone respect you. You can't make someone love you the way you deserve to be loved. Love, respect, loyalty, those things can't be begged for. They can't be negotiated. They have to be given freely. And if you have to constantly remind someone to treat you right, to appreciate you, to choose you, then they were never for you in the first place. I get it. It's hard to walk away. It's hard to accept that some people will never change. It's hard to let go of the idea you had of someone, the potential you saw, the future you imagined, the effort you put in. But let me ask you, how much longer are you going to keep sacrificing yourself for people who wouldn't do the same for you? How much longer are you going to keep lowering your standards, compromising your peace, and tolerating less than you deserve just to keep people around? How much longer are you going to keep giving your all to people who only give you breadcrumbs in return? You've got to stop being afraid of losing people who are okay with losing you. You've got to stop fearing the absence of people who never fully showed up for you in the first place. Because the truth is, if someone wanted to be in your life, they would be. If someone truly valued you, you wouldn't have to convince them. If someone genuinely cared, their actions would show it. Love is a verb. Respect is a verb. Loyalty is a verb. And if you're the only one doing the work, then you're the only one in the relationship. You deserve people who show up. You deserve people who choose you without hesitation. You deserve people who make you feel like you matter, not like you're an option. And the moment you stop begging for love, for time, for attention, is the moment you make room for the people who actually want to give it to you. The moment you stop forcing connections is the moment you attract the ones that are real. So stop chasing, stop forcing, stop begging. Stand in your worth, know who you are, and trust that the right people will never need convincing. There comes a point when you have to stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You have to stop trying to prove your heart to people who refuse to see it. You have to stop breaking yourself down into smaller pieces just to make someone else comfortable. Some of you are exhausting yourselves trying to get people to acknowledge your effort, your loyalty, your love. You're bending over backward, giving people more chances than they deserve, trying to show them that you're worth it. But let me tell you something. People who truly see you won't need constant reminders. People who truly value you won't put you in a position where you have to fight for their attention, their respect, their time. You've spent too much energy trying to make people appreciate you. Too much time trying to make people stay. And what has it gotten you? Frustration, heartache, disappointment. Some of you are stuck in cycles, repeating the same patterns with the same people, hoping that this time will be different. But if nothing has changed by now, what makes you think it ever will? If you have to keep proving your worth, keep chasing after their approval, keep explaining why you deserve better treatment, then you are in the wrong place with the wrong people. You deserve to be in rooms where your presence is valued, not just tolerated. You deserve to be surrounded by people who celebrate you, not just put up with you. But that can't happen if you're still holding on to people who don't respect what you bring to the table. That can't happen if you're still trying to force your way into spaces that were never meant for you. You're so afraid of letting go, so afraid of losing people that you haven't even realized that you've already lost yourself in the process. Some of you are loyal to dysfunction. You're loyal to people who wouldn't think twice about walking away from you. You're loyal to relationships that take more than they give. And every time you ignore the signs, every time you accept mistreatment, every time you settle for less than you deserve, you reinforce the idea that your worth is up for debate. But hear me, your worth is not a negotiation. Your value is not something to be debated. You do not have to shrink yourself, to silence yourself, to change who you are just to fit into someone else's version of love or friendship. When people truly care about you, you won't have to convince them to be there. You won't have to chase them down, beg them to see you, plead with them to treat you right. They will do it because they want to. They will show up because they value you. They will respect you because they see your worth. And the people who don't, let them go. Let them walk away. Stop forcing what was never meant to be. Stop explaining yourself to people who have already decided not to listen. Stop giving access to people who haven't earned the right to be in your life. You are not for everybody, and that's okay. Not everyone will understand you. Not everyone will appreciate you. Not everyone will see your heart the way you want them to, but the right people will. And when you finally let go of what's not serving you, when you finally stop forcing connections that drain you, when you finally stand firm in your worth, the right people will find you. And you won't have to convince them to stay.